Well, with today's society, I mean, this is a day of technology by any means. They don't really look at a book anymore. There's a book called New Lifestyles, has every nursing facility, assisted living, memory unit in any area in it. But let's face it, most everybody has access to internet, nowadays. So the internet is definitely a huge tool in that, there's several websites you can go to. That Nursing Home Compare is one. That's a government website that shows the different types of nursing facilities out there and how they're rated. There's several of them out there that you can look at, and it grades all the different facilities. And so, first you have to determine what type of facility that you're looking for. Are you looking for just an assisted living? Are you looking for a retirement community, or is your loved one in the hospital? Are they in the hospital needing skilled nursing placement? And that's what's going to determine where you look and how you look. So I know that for us, one of the tools that we use with Stonegate is if they have a loved one in the hospital, we have pamphlets and stuff that we give them that says transitioning from an acute care to a step-down unit or a skilled nursing facility, what to expect as far as call lights and how many people are going to be in your room as far as therapists and doctors and that kind of stuff. So it kind of helps them have that information to be prepared for it. I would think the more trendy ones are better because the government websites are more statistical data as far as survey, their annual certification process, and they look at strictly data. So it's a tracking and trending thing. The other ones look at reviews. I've always told family members that the best way to find a true facility that you want to be comfortable with is go off hours. Go off hours to the facility, go on a Saturday, go on a Friday evening, sit down, talk to some of the residents, and that's how you truly know, if that's the right place, because you'll be able to interact and see what goes on off hours, off normal management hours. I recommend that you set a time with the admissions or the marketing director, or anybody in the facility because you're going to want to link yourself with somebody that's going to be able to answer questions right then and there. So I think it's vital that you do schedule a time for a tour, and then I would think after you meet, after you talk, and if you think that this is the right place, it looks good, it's you see great interaction with the staff and the residents, everybody's friendly, they're smiling, and then I think at that point, then you would look at going off hours. And you wouldn't necessarily have to bring your loved one with you. You could go on your own and just see, how things happen off hours. But I definitely think it's vital that you link up with somebody in the facility because, there's going to be questions that you're going to have, and you really need somebody to answer them for you. Many of the memory units, they're obviously locked units, so they're definitely protective of who comes and goes on the units. It's not just they know the families, they know who comes over there. You have to have visitor badges to get in and out over there. So, for the safety of the residents. So it's definitely vital, I think, to come and schedule a tour and tell them what you're interested in, because you may hear from that person then that this is really not the place for you. You may think, well, they're not going to provide the service that I want, or it's too high level of service. Maybe I only need an assisted living memory unit or a step-down unit. So I think it's vital that you have that initial conversation and tour. I think a huge piece of it is the pre-admission, the financial conversations. That seems to be the most confusing talk with most of the family members. Not only what kind of finances it takes to get into the facility, but what kind of charges are going to be that you're going to incur after you get into the facility. So I think that financial piece is a must. I know the business office managers are really good about doing that, but I tell family members, you need to ask what, okay, well, just for an example, when they come in on Medicare, they get 100 skilled days. Well, after day 20, there's a copay. Well, who's going to pay that copay? Do they have a co-insurance, or is Medicaid? So these are the kind of conversations I have to have, because let's face it, the money conversations are usually the hardest ones to have with the family. So, That's definitely, I mean, I just can't stress that enough. Something I always tell family members, I say, you know, who's going to take care of mom better than mom? Who's going to take care of dad better than dad? You know, so you have to kind of keep that in consideration, you know, and look at the services provided in the different organizations, so that way you can choose the right one, because really nobody's going to take as good care as mom did herself.